Everyone, Eric here from the Helix Hour. Moderately, somewhat quick update video today. Line 6 has a new firmware out for Helix 2.6 and Helix Native 1.60, the spring cleaning update they call it. And in this video, we're going to go over some of the features and show you some screenshots and some goodies and things like that and try to assist you in getting it, and anxious to hear some of your feedback. But let's go through a list of updates. I'll post all of this information in the description down below. And please, if you enjoy this, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new here. I appreciate that long time. All right, so let's have a quick look, get right into it. For Helix, new amp models, two for Helix, Helix Rack Control and Helix LT only. Cali, Texas Channel 1, based on the clean channel of the Mesa Boogie Lone Star. Placator clean, based on the clean channel of the Friedman BE100. A lot of people looking forward to that one to complement the dirty channel. New effects models, 4. Distortion, Range Master Mono Stereo, based on the Dallas Range Master Treble Booster, and capital letters warning, it's like the real thing. This model will take your head off, works best before a distorted amplifier. Distortion, DS1 vintage mono stereo, based on the Boss DS1 distortion pedal, the classic made in Japan version that people are really looking for that one. That pedal I'm referring to. Distortion, DS1 vintage DS1 mod mono stereo, based on the Boss DS1 distortion pedal Keeley mod version, and the looper, one switch looper mono stereo line 6 original, doesn't leave stomp mode. We're going to get into that right now. Using the one switch looper. Adding a looper, one switch looper block to your preset and assign it to a stomp foot switch. Adding a one switch looper to HX effects from stomp view automatically assigns it to the currently selected foot switch. Press the one switch looper switch. The LED lights red, indicating the loop is recording. Simple enough. A nice visual. Pressing the one switch looper again, the LED lights green, indicating the loop is playing back. Press the one switch looper switch again. The LED lights amber, indicating the loop is in overdub mode. Subsequent presses of the switch toggle between play and overdub mode. While the one switch looper is in play or overdub mode, press and hold the switch for 1 second. The most recent recording is undone. Holding the switch again will redo the recording. On Helix, Helix Rack / Control, and HX Effects, undo or redo briefly appears on the scribble strip. On Helix LT, undo or redo briefly appears in performance view. Okay, very nice. And quickly double press the one switch looper switch. Playback recording stops and the LED lights white, indicating a loop is in memory. Lastly, while the looper playback recording is stopped, press and hold the switch. The recording is deleted and the LED lights dim white. Okay, so there's improvements and changes, and then there's some bug fixes, and the bug fixes are pretty extensive. I won't go through all of them. Actually, I won't go through any of them. I'm going to list them all down below because there's too many to read to you. Improvements, changes. The most recent new HX reverbs have been tweaked to sound notably wetter. See known issues below. When changing the time parameter, legacy delay models now exhibit a more organic behavior like DL4 and Echo Pro. The looper block is now called a 6-switch looper. See known issues below. Helix Rack / Control, Helix LT only, Variac Shuriken bank names now appear in the input, multi and input. Variac's block without requiring connection to Variac's workbench. Synchronizing to incoming MIDI clock has been improved. All post reverb looper blocks and factory presets are now stereo. Mono and stereo HX reverb defaults have now consistent mix parameters. When loading a preset, its default MIDI program change message would be transmitted after the preset is loaded and any instant commands were sent. This PC message is now sent immediately when the preset is selected. HX effects only on the signal flow page. If the split block is selected and bypassed, it now appears as a different icon as if it were engaged, or icon then if it were engaged. So, sorry. Many under the hood improvements. And then into bug fixes, like I said, there's a lot of them, and you'd probably be surprised that some of these, there's some little things that they had to fix. But it's all in the description down below, but it's awesome. It's awesome that they take the time. That's probably why we waited a little longer. They leave nothing, no stone unturned. Let's scroll down to known issues. As the new HX reverb models have been tweaked to sound notably wetter, any existing user presets that use these models will sound different. Although Helix and HX hardware has the ability to compensate for changes made to models when rebuilding presets, and one of our goals is to rarely, if ever, cause audible changes to existing user presets, the improvements made to the reverb blocks unfortunately cannot be compensated for. Existing user presets containing Helix Classic Looper block will continue to read looper instead of 6-switch looper until the model is changed and the preset is resaved. This is normal and does not affect operation. So over to Helix Native 1.60. They call it the spring cleaning update. I won't go through everything here, very similar. You got the two new amp models, the Texas Channel 1, Cali Texas Channel 1, and Placator Clean. Over to the effects, you've got the Deranged Master, the DS1 Vintage, and DS1 Mod. There are a few new features. I will read those. MIDI block bypass. Helix Native now lets you bypass individual blocks via MIDI. Right-click or control-click the desired block, and from the pull-down menu, select MIDI bypass, MIDI in. Then click the Automation Controller Assign tab and choose the desired CC number. Note that there are lots of CCs that Helix Native will ignore, as these are reserved for Helix hardware functionality. See the Helix Native Pilot's Guide for more information. MIDI parameter control. Helix Native now lets you control parameters via MIDI and the inspector. Right-click or control-click the desired parameter, and from the pull-down menu, select Control Assign MIDI CC. Then click the Automation Controller Assign tab and choose the parameter from the list. Adjust the MIDI CC number, min, and max values. MIDI snapshot select. To select a snapshot in Helix Native, send a MIDI CC number 69 message. Value 0 will recall snapshot 1, value 1 will recall snapshot 2, value 2 will recall snapshot 3, and so on. Block copy paste between Helix Native and HX Edit. Helix Native now lets you copy and paste individual blocks between multiple instances in HX Edit. Right-click or control-click the desired block and select copy. Then switch to HX Edit and Signal Flow View. Right-click on the destination block or an empty block location and select Paste. Helix Native now lets you copy and paste individual blocks after closing, then reopening the plugin window. Helix Native now lets you copy and paste individual blocks between multiple instances. Improvements and changes. The most new recent HX Reverb models have been tweaked. Okay, so on and so forth. Pretty much the same there. When changing the time parameter, legacy delay models now exhibit a more organic behavior like the DL4 and Echo Pro. Helix Rack Control, Helix LT, only Variax Shuriken bank names now appear. Okay, so just like I said before, plugin window now loads much faster. That's cool. And many under the hood improvements. Not near as many bug improvements or bug fixes, I should say, as Helix, but they're listed. They're all down below as well too. Known issues, as we discussed, the reverb sounding notably wetter, and that's about it. And the HX Edit 2.60, the spring cleaning, the 2 amplifiers, and of course the effects, the 4 effects, and improvement and changes, all that's down below. So head over to line6.com, links are in the description down below, and hopefully this was a very easy update for you. I'd love for you to share some of your feedback here on the channel, on the video down below in comments. Let us know how the update went for you, if you had any troubles. If you do have any troubles, hit Chad Boston's Facebook group, Helix, a Line 6 family of Helix products original, something like that. I never get his name right. Just go to Chad Boston's group. 15,000 members in the group. Is very easy to find, and the link is in the description down below. That's easier. Just click the link and don't listen to me to give names wrong. It's down below. But if you enjoyed this video, it's helpful, give me a thumbs up. It'd be awesome. Subscribe if you're new here, and I'll work very hard to keep you as a subscriber. Go get your new firmware and enjoy some new effects and new amplifiers, all kinds of goodness that we keep getting free from Line 6, which is pretty awesome. You know, one-time purchase for these products, and look at the goodness. It's like Christmas Day every few months. It's pretty nice. So we'll talk to you real soon. Until next time, cheers.